Welcome back to Leadership Unscripted. Respect doesn't come with a job title. In manufacturing, the fastest way to lose respect is to prove that you're not willing to lead. Good employees don't expect managers to know everything, but do expect you to make decisions and to stand behind them each and every day. In episode 16, we'll talk about why good employees don't respect some of their managers. Maybe you're one of them, maybe I'm one of them, but we have the opportunity to become better. If you're a shop floor leader, a manager, an operations leader, supervisor, team lead, and you want more weekly tactics and advice on how to lead your team, subscribe and like to this video. Let's go over 5 ways managers lose respect. Number 1, they avoid difficult conversations. I'm sure you can give 100 different scenarios where you had to go through a difficult conversation. I know I have. There are many things where people show up late, and then you have to deal with that difficult conversation, or they have poor attendance and everybody's watching. You're hearing backlash. Why aren't the leadership dealing with that person? People that cut corners, and you've come to a realization, or someone's brought to your attention that they're not following work instruction, or they're checking 50% of their parts, throwing them in the bin, and not checking the rest of them. And now it's come to your knowledge. So now you have to act on that. That's a difficult conversation. People that have poor attitude, that are slandering others, are just miserable on the shop floor. And once again, you're made aware of it. Well, it's a difficult conversation. People that don't pull their weight. You have this top employee who cleans around their area, keeps it, really nice. The next shift comes in, they leave it a disaster for the following shift, and it just becomes this really bad cycle. And the person that's doing their job and pulling their weight, they're getting upset that you're not dealing with the other people. Avoiding conflict today can seem easier, when you think about it. Your immediate thing, well, for most personalities, some personalities are more direct and they can deal with those difficult conversations, but for the most part, including myself, I've been in the operations leadership type role for around 20 years, and it's become easier, but it took a long time to sort of become desensitized to having those difficult conversations. But what might seem easier to avoid now is going to become a larger storm, larger thunderstorm problem down the road. The small cloud that's brewing in the sky, as it's picking up water, is going to become a huge thunderstorm in the future. So you have to really deal with the people head on, and not just leaving it to become a larger issue that causes people to leave your workplace. Number 2, again, why managers lose respect. Number 2, they make decisions without understanding the work. So if you're new to your workplace and you're a supervisor, a shop floor leader, a manager, even if you're an engineering manager, maintenance manager, whatever position you're in, and you've come into this workplace, they do things differently. 100% they're going to do things differently than what you're used to. And you may not agree with some of the stuff, but you can't go in steamrolling over people. You're going to lose respect immediately. You have to learn how they do their work. You have to be out on the shop floor to learn what they do. Even if you're the most technical person, you understand things inside out, they don't know that. So you have to come in with humility and want to walk alongside them, listening to them. And if they look like, they need a helping hand or an answer to a question or a solution, then step in. But don't immediately start steamrolling people and giving direction. Employees, they don't expect you to know everything. They expect you to ask questions. So asking questions shows humility, shows that you're going to be the underdog. It's always better to be the underdog when you're going into something new. So that if you make a mistake, it's not so bad. When you go in as Mike Tyson fighting someone, you make a mistake, everybody's looking saying, "Hey, this guy is really good, and I can't believe he made a mistake." But when the underdog makes a mistake, it's not that considerable. So go in as an underdog always in every situation as you build trust with your employees. Listen before you decide on what you're going to do. Number 3, again, why managers lose respect. Number 3, they never support their team. Some scenarios, production falls behind for many reasons, typically unrealistic schedules, because sales is always willing to say yes to everything because they want to create backlog, they want to get commission. So sales is always going to say yes to everything, regardless of whether it can be produced in the delivery time that's required. So you have to come to realization that there's going to be unrealistic schedules, and your leaders are going to fall behind. There's going to be quality issues that happen. Even when everybody's doing their best job, there's still going to be things that happen because there's so much variation in life in every single process. You can't completely control everything. So there will be quality issues that happen. If your first response is to blame, those people, those senior people, those junior people, whoever, they will remember when you went in and immediately blamed, pointed fingers, and bashed everybody. You can't come in doing that. You have to, once again, understand the situation and ask questions and see, okay, this is the root cause. Folks, team, how can we, what suggestions do you have that we can make this better? Make this process more robust? Improve our scheduling attainment? Those types of things. So that's a method that you can help to avoid doing the opposite, which is blaming everybody. Number 4, they say one thing and do the other. So have you ever said, yes, I'm going to buy that tool, and you don't? Or you say safety is the most important thing. You know, when you're in your meetings, we're going to start with safety. Safety is the most important thing. Yet we need to machine this part on a particular machine, not in a way that's not typical, and just make it happen. I don't care if it's safe or not. So once again, you're saying safety is important, but you're telling somebody to do the complete opposite. Or somebody comes to you and they say there's a leak around the machine, and you're saying deal with it. We need the parts. Who cares about the slip hazard? Versus getting some mats or getting some absorbents to put around it. Don't say one thing and do the other. People are going to remember that. They're going to lose respect with you. Number 5, they never admit they're wrong. So we've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. And if there is somebody out there that hasn't made a mistake, I want to see that. Hear about that in the comments and how you got to the point in life that you didn't make a mistake. But we all make mistakes, and we have to be quick to admit when we make mistakes. Definitely not deflecting. If we're going to deflect, we're just creating a culture of deflection. And the employee base is only as good as their leader. The team, the football team, is only as good as their coach. So it comes from the top, learning to admit mistakes. Because if you have employees that are crashing machines because they put in a wrong offset, they, instead of putting in 2 thou, they put in 2 inches, and the machine gets, the fixture gets hit with a tool, which wasn't expected, and you're of the mindset where you never accept mistakes, how are you going to how do you expect that they're going to admit when they make a mistake? So it's really important that you always admit when you're making mistakes. A few things. I guess one thing that, if we can all learn from each other, if you can share an experience where you made a mistake and how you dealt with that. Obviously, if you didn't deal with it, I'm sure you can put that in the comments as well. But what did you do? Was it with your team? Did you sort of meet with them and say, "Hey, I made this mistake," or was it in a meeting and you came to the realization that you made a mistake on some paperwork or whatever? And did you admit it right in that meeting, or did you admit it to the person privately? Please put those in the comments, because that helps us all learn together. And then in the next episode, we're going to talk about the 5 fastest ways to lose your best shop floor employees.